Ba, 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 ba. Hey guys, today we've got 12.5. We are solving equations with addition and subtraction. Now, I made kind of a boo-boo. There's actually a quiz for 12.5 and 12.6. Our notes for 12.5 and 12.6 are really similar. The only difference is addition, subtraction, 12.5. 12.6 is multiplication and division. What I'm going to do is today, I'm going to do the notes for 12.5, which are really similar for 12.6. And tomorrow, I'm going to do the videos for both of the quizzes, 12.5 and 12.6. So that way you have just as many notes and just as, and all of the quizzes have their content covered. Again, if you have questions, please let me know. Otherwise, let's get started. So, I need to define something. When we have a solution, that's a number that can be substituted for the variable of any equation in order to make it true. So a solution is a number that can be plugged into the variable, which will make the equation true. Example, is 14 a solution of x plus 23 equals 37? So what we're asking is, does x equal 14? So we're going to plug it in, right? So you see me substitute here. Now I've got 14 plus 23. When you add those together, you find out that 14 plus 23 is 37. Now notice how I'm keeping my my equation in a line. I'm just rewriting everything. Even after I substitute it, I'm rewriting it. Yes, 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 please rewrite. Yes, do the process so that way it's clean, it's organized, and you could follow along. I've seen people do that, and then they'll say, oh, 14 plus 23 equals 37. Well, it's not always like that, so it might change things up. Keep it organized so that way you can verify, yes, 37 equals 37. That is true. Okay. Yes, we have proven that 14 is a solution. Okay. Next one. Is 18 a solution of y plus 15 equals 34? So again, we're going to plug in 18. Now, as I'm doing this, I'm just rewriting everything else. So I've plugged in 18 for y. Now I'm going to add 15. Well, 18 plus 15 is 33. So that's why we need to rewrite everything. So you don't just say, oh yeah, 18 plus 15 does equal 34. No, 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 it doesn't. 18 plus 13, I'm keeping that on this side of the equation. Right, think of the equal sign like a fence. You got to keep all your stuff on your side of the fence and everybody else's stuff on their side of the fence. There will be times where we go back and forth, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So this statement is false. 18 is not a solution. There should be a period there. Okay. All right. Now, if we are going to go across the equal sign, right, if we're going from one side of the fence to the other, you have to use inverse operations to solve the equation. What I mean by an inverse operation is you need to use the opposite. What's the opposite of addition? Subtraction. Opposite of multiplication? Division. So those guys are inverses of the other, okay? So, first example. Let me put this here to cover up the answer. Okay, so I'm given x plus 4 equals 5. Well, the inverse operation of addition is subtraction. So what I do to one side of the equation, because I want to get my x by itself, right? So I'm going to isolate. isolate my variable. We all know about isolation, right? I hope you guys are doing okay. So I'm going to isolate my variable by doing the opposite operation. Okay, what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. This is going to, now again, on this side, these two cancel out. Now they equal 0. So now I have x all by itself over here, and 5 minus 4 is 1. So again, my equal sign comes straight down, and I'm just doing my operation on both sides, right? Because it's got to be the same. Leaves me with x equals 1. Now, I'm going to check my work by substituting this value in for x. Is that true? Sure is. So we know we have solved for the value of our variable. Okay. Here's another one. X plus negative 19 equals negative 23. Okay. Again, I need to isolate my variable, but I need to do the opposite operation. Well, how do I make negative 19 equal 0? What I can do is I can subtract negative 19, which is the same as adding 19, right? When you subtract a negative, you add it. So what I do to one side of the equation, I'm doing the exact same thing to the other. This is going to leave me with x all by itself, and x equals negative 4, right? Negative 23 plus 19 equals negative 4. Again, I'm going to plug this in for my variable. Negative 4 plus negative 19, right? I have negative $4 debt, and I increase that debt by spending another $19, leaving me with a total of negative $23 in debt. Okay. I've got one more on this page for you guys. Switching it up, putting the variable on the other side of the equation. 12 equals n plus 8. N plus 4. Okay. Well, the opposite operation of addition is subtraction. I want to isolate my n, so I'm going to subtract 4 and what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. So n minus 4 is just going to leave me with n. 12 minus 4 is 8. So n equals 8. Again, I'm going to plug that in to verify, to check my answer. It is true that 12 equals 8 plus 4. Okay. So that's addition. Now we're going to do subtraction, which is the same process, except a different operation. Okay. So my first example is b minus 27 equals 65. Well, I want to isolate my variable. And in order to do that, I must do the opposite operation here. Okay. Well, the opposite operation of subtraction is addition. So I need to, in order to get b all by itself on this side of the fence, on this side of the equation, I need to get rid of this guy. So I need to add 27 to this side of the equation. And what I do to one side of the equation, I have to do to the other. So I'm adding 27 to both sides of my equation. And 65 plus 27 equals 92. So therefore, b equals 92. I'm going to plug that in. 92 minus 27 does, in fact, equal 65. So we did our math right. Okay. And I've got here another example. Negative 18 plus a equals negative, that looks like negative 47. It looks terrible. I'm sorry, guys. Forgive me. That's a 47. 47. Now, a is my variable. And we might be thinking, wait a second. Our operation here is addition. True. Negative 18 is added to a. Well, in order to get rid of a negative number, you have to add, which is why there's this is in the subtraction category. Okay. The opposite of negative 18 is positive 18. So I'm going to add 18 to both sides of my equation. That's going to eliminate this guy, leaving a all by himself on this side of the equation. And negative 47 plus 18 is negative 29. Plug that in. Checks out. True statement. Okay. It is very important that you check your work. So all of this that I've done on the right side of our practice problems, it has been me checking the work. What we do there is we kind of do a safeguard against silly mistakes. We all make mistakes, but this is a way we could check. Maybe we didn't carry over the 1, for example, after adding this. So maybe, we're all prone to mistake. Okay. Now, here are some word problems for us. When it asks us to solve, not only do we need to write it out, then we need to solve, okay? Told you guys it was coming. Here it is. So 5 less than a number is equal to 19. Solve for the number. So again, I'm going to start at my equal sign. So 5 less than a number. Well, than switches it around. So it's n minus 15, or n minus 5 equals 19. Okay. So again, 5 less 5 minus than switcheroo a number. So my number is n. The switcheroo switches the order, and it's still subtraction. So n minus 5 equals 19. Now I could solve. Opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 5 in order to eliminate and isolate my variable. But what I do to one side of the equation, I must do to the other. That's going to leave me with n equaling 24. And then I plug it back in just to verify. And it's true that 24 minus 5 equals 19. All right, guys. So those are your notes for today. Again, multiplication and division is very similar as far as the process goes. If you have questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I will come back tomorrow with the video for the quizzes. It's 2 different quizzes for both 12.5 and then 12.6. Again, if you have questions, please ask. Know that I love you and praying for you guys while we're all isolated like our variables. Otherwise, love you a bunch. Bye.